Today isn't about celebrating a high school graduate. It's about celebrating what happens when a young person chooses excellence. My guest today is a graduate from the same high school I graduated from, Eastlake High School, years apart. Different generations, different challenges, but the same opportunity to make a difference. And she did exactly that. She graduated with a 4.0 GPA. She spent 4 years competing in varsity athletics. She became homecoming queen. And just recently, she stood in front of a group of fifth graders, including my daughter Gabby, as a guest speaker at their graduation ceremony. That's impact. That's leadership. That's what living an electrified life looks like.
Empowering you to live a life fully charged. This is 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life with LJ Tucker.
Welcome back to 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life. I am your host, LJ Tucker. Today is a special episode because we're celebrating a young woman who represents the very best of what our next generation can be. I've known Mackenzie and her family from a distance for many years. I've always respected their family, their values, and the way they carry themselves. Today we're highlighting this young woman who chooses discipline over distraction, leadership over popularity, and purpose over excuses. Mackenzie recently graduated from Eastlake High School, the very same high school I graduated from many years ago. We ain't even gonna go there. Just many years ago. She leaves behind an impressive legacy, 4.0 GPA, 4 years of cheerleading, 2 years JV, 2 years varsity, 4 years of flag football, 4 years of track and field, the homecoming queen. Yeah. Let's start there. Tell us about your experience of being a homecoming queen.
It was definitely so much fun. I was really excited. But I feel like the biggest thing for me was just that's always everyone's like growing up, you're like, oh, I want to be homecoming queen and like all of those things. So it was definitely like a surreal moment being able to actually be homecoming queen and be able to take the pictures and walk on the football field and all of that. It was definitely awesome.
Man, I remember being to the football game. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing you because she's in band. She plays the flute. And so I remember her, I was like, that's a surreal moment. I mean, you're also a model. You have a beautiful smile.
Yes, thank you.
And so it's one of those things. When I saw you speak at Gabby's graduation the other week, I was like, she's got a career in speaking. And your presence, like you commanded the room, and that's important because you don't see young people doing that these days. Yeah. We're in a different society. Kind of different because we're in the social media area, but people are more about clicks and they're more about attention than having impact and purpose on people's lives. Mm-hmm. Like you inspired people, you inspired me, as an adult. I'm like, because that's what you look for. I have 5 children, so I want to see that in my kids, and I saw that in you. I was like, yes. And so now you're here today because we want to talk about the impact. And perhaps most importantly, she has become a role model for younger students who are watching you. You have a younger sister that's watching you.
Yes.
You have peers that are watching you. Eastlake then and now. Mackenzie is one of the things that makes this interview special. We both graduated from Eastlake. What does Eastlake mean to you?
I think Eastlake is one of the best schools in the world, but it is seriously a part that I've kind of taken on. You hear like, oh, I go to Palm Harbor, I go to Eastlake. I go to Eastlake. Like that is very much, I feel like, a role that I take on. And especially with being in so many sports and athletics and groups at Eastlake, it definitely is something that I like to almost act as if I am, what's the word? I take on Eastlake. I want to be an example for Eastlake, and I want people to be like, oh, she went to Eastlake and she did X, Y, and Z. One of those things, but I love it there.
She's an ambassador. She don't even know it. She's an ambassador. How would you describe your whole high school experience in general?
Amazing. I loved high school. Of course, there's going to be those off years or those hard years, but I personally loved it so much, and I made amazing friends. I learned so much about myself, but I also learned with schooling that it's a privilege, and I feel like in middle school it was really hard for me to like want to learn, and I was able to learn that it wasn't just, oh, you have to do this. It's a privilege to be able to get that. It's a privilege to get that education.
Mm. What lessons will you carry to college? You're going to college, correct?
Yes.
What lessons will you carry from Eastlake into your next chapter of your life?
I think my biggest thing is doing the work when it's given to you. But especially just like being a person that wants to learn. I feel like a lot of kids think they have to do it instead of wanting to do it. Also in college, it's a lot easier because you're going to be taking classes that have to do with your major and what have to do with what you want to do in the future. But I'm excited just to keep on learning and eventually do like my dream jobs.
Did you decide your major yet?
Yes, I'm doing business and marketing.
Business and marketing. Okay.
Yes.
Now she's taking on your parents have taught you well.
Yes.
Most students participate in one activity, but you participated in several: cheerleading, varsity football, varsity flag football, that is, track and field. What did you do in track and field?
My freshman year, I still ran hurdles.
Okay.
I always thought track and field was kind of like the end for me. I thought that was going to be like my number one thing. And then I ended up finding flags. So I ended up stopped doing running. But I stayed throwing. So I did javelin, shot put, and discus.
How do you balance it all with the schoolwork to maintain a 4.0 and do all the activities? How did you maintain it?
I think of it as in it's the real world. You're going to have to maintain things. You're going to have to do a million things at one time. And I wanted to be able to do everything. I wanted to be able to do all the sports I wanted, be in all the clubs I wanted, all the honor societies. And I actually started my own club this year as well, just because I wanted to do all of it. And I knew if my academics dropped, I wouldn't be able to do all of it. So I made sure to keep that side up on everything and then stick with all of my sports and activities.
So here's the important part, especially in high school. What sacrifices did you have to make to not only to maintain a 4.0 GPA, but participate? Like, what are the sacrifices? Because people don't talk about sacrifices in life, but what sacrifice did you personally have to make?
I feel like my biggest one was social media. I am a person that loves her friends. I always want to be with my friends. So I found time and I found ways to always be with my friends. Even if that meant it was right after practice and I didn't get to shower, or if it was during an assignment, I would tell them to come over. But I feel like social media was my number one thing. I am barely ever on my phone. It is kind of just something that's automatically happened now. But I knew my parents had screen time on my phone so that I wasn't even able to be on it. And it's definitely something that at a younger age that was hard for me, social media, like not being on it. But I still have all of the things, and now I'm like freely open to use them whenever I want, but I choose not to use them as much. It was just something that was a distraction, and that if I had an hour to do my homework, I was putting my phone away. I wasn't able to go on my phone for that time. And I feel like that was my biggest sacrifice.
You see it, folks? Sacrifice is important. She was able to, in a world that's run by social media now, she was able to do it, maintain a 4.0 GPA, graduate, and balance her life with her family and friends by one of the many sacrifices they can't. Some of the first thing people do, they get out of bed, oh my God. But you've done it and you're doing it. And that's important. I call it important because that's part of my definition of living an electrified life. There's times you feel overwhelmed. What keeps you motivated when you feel overwhelmed, especially in today's world? Like I say this to her, like you was born back in the time we was growing up and you knew, we didn't have all the social media stuff, but there was other distractions and stuff that, if you want to be successful, you had to overcome. Did you ever feel overwhelmed that you couldn't complete tasks, and how did you handle that?
I definitely did, and there was times that I doubted myself and thought like, okay, I'm done, I can't do this, like it's too many things. But I feel like my parents were one of my biggest supporters, and they were able to say, okay, you have this right now, then you can go worry about X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's one of my biggest things, separating them all. You don't have a million things at one time. You have them all in that day, but not at one time. Complete the things you have to do. and then worry about the rest of them. So I feel like that kind of helped me just prioritizing things and making sure everything was balanced and making sure it was on time for things. But also I feel like my favorite scripture is Romans 8:18, and that is definitely one of like my things that I live by. It basically just says that the things that you're feeling right now, the pain, the suffering, whatever you're feeling right now, it is nothing in comparison to what the joy you're gonna feel one day. So I feel like that's one of my biggest things is whatever's happening right now, it's not gonna matter eventually because of what is coming my way.
More than a crown, people see a homecoming queen, but they don't always see the character behind the crown. When your peers voted for you, what did that mean?
To me, it kind of just felt like I wasn't the most popular that ran. There was other girls that were more popular than me that did run. And for me, it was more, that meant to me that I was nice to everybody. I got a majority of the votes because the group of kids that the most popular girl doesn't talk to, I talk to them. And those votes matter.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Just it made me realize that I was a good person and that I did talk to everybody. I did make sure everyone felt comfortable. I did help everyone on their way to class or in class. And it just made me feel like all the things that I was doing were going correct. Like I was doing them for a reason and they were working.
I don't know if you know this, but that's called leadership. So you possess a leadership quality. Kudos to your parents because they installed that in you at an early age, and it is transitioning through you, and it's going to continue because if you don't know this, you have a career in public speaking. You're going to be able to motivate the masses. You know, I don't know if that's a prophetic word, but I see it when I was sitting at my daughter's graduation and to see how you commanded the room and spoke. You can't script it. You can't fake it. Leaders are leaders, and it comes naturally. And you know, I'm speaking for experience. It's like you can try to teach somebody to lead. You can try to give them the script. Either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know, and you possess it. So you hone it, and when the opportunities come, you're a gift to the world when that comes. And so you continue to do what you do. I'm proud of you. So if I haven't said congratulations, congratulations. On the podcast side, we talk about living an electrified life. To me, it means bringing positive energy into every room you enter, being a light, being an example, being someone who elevates others. When you hear those words, what does it mean to you?
I feel like it's just like, I think the biggest one that stands out to me is being the light. And I feel like that's something that I've always wanted to do. I wanted it to be where if I walk into a room, people automatically know that I will be able to talk to them. I will be able to be there for them, even if I've never met them before. And I know that works because I'll walk into Marshall's and someone will come up to me and be like, hey, could you help me with this? And of course, like, yeah. And that is something that I take pride in because that's always been the person I want to be. I want to be able to help people, and I want people to see me as someone they can come to, even if they've never met me before. So I feel like that's the biggest thing when you say that. That's the biggest thing that I take from it.
Do you work at Marshall's?
I do not.
You hear that, Marshall's? We got an ambassador for you. She don't even work there, and she's giving y'all a plug. Write her a check. No, who helped you? Who helped shape you into the young woman you've become? What role has your family played in your success? I know you talked about some of it earlier. Give us a little bit more.
Definitely my parents, my sister, and my mom on football. Those people will be at everything for me. I don't think they have ever missed an event for me or one of my friends. Even if the nights that I wasn't cheering, but our boys basketball team was playing, they would be there. Like, they would be there cheering on the team, even if I wasn't there. So they definitely have just always been our biggest supporters. But I've never ridden a bus before. And a lot of people look at me like, what? Why does that matter? But my mom took me to and from school every single day. Mm-hmm. And just knowing that she was always going to be there, she was in the car heating it up before we left for school. And she was there to talk to me about my day the second she got me. So I feel like that was just something that kind of like was put in me at a very young age of you have to be there for people and be there for people. And I think it was things even when I was younger that they just kind of said around me or did around me that made me like figure out these things that I have now without even knowing it. And especially my grandparents, they are obviously an older generation than all of us. So they kind of taught me things that used to happen and that they don't see in kids a lot now. So they were able to say, hey, like, you're doing this and that is amazing, keep doing it. Or, hey, switch this a little bit because this is going to be better for your future, and stuff like that. So they've all definitely helped me.
So that's the stark difference, because I grew up in Clearwater. I grew up, at the time there was a road called Greenwood that's now called MLK. And Eastlake Road was just a 2-lane highway, and we had to check the box. So as a minority, you know, this you guys heard me say this on the show before. Down on Greenwood, this house went to Clearwater, this house went to Dunedin, this house went to Countryside, and that house went to Eastlake. Well, when to Eastlake, that was a 45-minute bus ride. And so it was times I didn't get up on time. So I had to run to catch the bus, and some days I didn't make it. I wasn't fast enough. Or I slept and snored a little longer in bed. And so I would have to my grandmother wasn't taking me to school. She was in her 70s at the time, and she didn't do the long ride. So I would have to either figure out how I was getting to school or I missed school that day. And so that's, you know, indirectly has shaped me to being who I am, because I didn't have what my kids have and what you have now. And so, but I understand the importance of being poured into. And so by understanding that, it's helping me even more live an electrified life. And so I say that to people, I say, man, you live in that electrified life and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's electrified, it's exciting, it's full of energy, and you want to pour that in. And you do it directly and you do it indirectly because it's in you. Like, you do it when you don't know you even doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Mrs. Mayer. She was your kindergarten teacher.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience, because we just had her on the show recently, and you were a beacon of light, and you were a product of that success, having her as your teacher. Tell us how that experience went.
It was definitely the best teacher I could have asked for just starting school. I didn't go to pre-K, so it was the first experience of school ever. But she was amazing, and she taught me so many things. Her number one thing, and I actually said it at the 5th grade graduation speech, but she told me, be kind to everyone. You don't know what anyone's going through. You don't know what their home life is like, or your home life is like, and you don't know what's going on in their life. Be nice to everyone, kill them with kindness, be nice. And I have literally lived by that every single day. And she just taught me so many lessons that I feel like I wouldn't know if it wasn't for her. And I love that woman.
You and me both. She taught all 5 of my kids.
That's awesome.
She has completed the cycle. So
yeah.
It's the beginning. What's the next step for Mackenzie? What dreams are you chasing? And where do you see yourself for the next 5 years?
I'm attending FAU this upcoming year. I actually leave in like a couple days, but
yeah, we got you just in the nick of time. Look.
But I'm attending FAU. I am majoring in business and marketing with aspirations to be a cardiac tech sales rep. Okay. I am hoping to start the Morgan's Message Club that I started at Eastlake, started at FAU. And then also I will be doing club flag football there. Okay. And my sophomore, I just had a call with the coach the other day. My sophomore year, it is supposed to be a real varsity sport there. So I am hoping to be on that and keep with flag, possibly cheer next year as well. But I'm really excited for that. And in 5 years, hopefully graduated college already. But just kind of getting my life on the road, and I'm really excited for the next steps.
Good stuff. Mackenzie, what impresses me most isn't your GPA. It isn't your athletic accomplishments. It isn't being the homecoming queen. Those are all wonderful achievements. What impresses me most is that a young student, watching your example, including with my own daughter at her graduation, you have shown that excellence still matters, character still matters, leadership still matters. And when a young person is choosing discipline, integrity, and service, they become a light for others to follow. You are proof that the future is bright. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, and thank you for showing us what living an electrified life truly looks like. And so in closing, what would you have to say if you're able to impact that junior or sophomore in high school, or that fourth or fifth grader next year that may or may not be listening to this podcast, what would you do to inspire people? What would you say to inspire them, to encourage them, how they can be on track, not only to be that beacon of light, but live an electrified life?
I think my biggest thing is don't take life for granted. So many things that happened in elementary school I wish I could go back to, just because I didn't realize how much fun they were at the time, or it wasn't as serious then. But some of your best memories are still ahead of you, and just take it all in. Make sure you stay up on your stuff. Stay up on your school, stay up on your sports, your clubs, your honor societies, whatever it is. Stay up on all of it. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, and your phone doesn't matter.
You heard that? The phone doesn't matter, people. It does not. I appreciate your time on the show. It's an honor, it's a blessing, and I'm looking forward to having you back in the future. I'm going to continue watching your success from afar. You need to hug both of your parents, because they did a wonderful job shaping you to the woman that you're becoming and the woman that you're going to be. And the world is a greater and safer place with you. Stay electrified, my friends. God bless.
This has been 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life, available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. For more information, visit us on the web at ljtucker.com. Remember, stay electrified.